follows. I'm going to go over the topics that you must study on your study guide, approximately 3 per day. In the Google Classroom, there will be a corresponding worksheet or worksheets, if there's multiple of them, that you guys should go through. I am expecting you to do all of the problems in the worksheets. If I assign more than 30 problems, are you guys paying attention? You're using your computers when I'm talking. Okay. If I assign more than 30 problems, then you may do all of them. That's like the best case scenario, or 30 problems for your homework. So like if I assign 50 problems one night, because there's 50 problems of review that you could benefit from, but you're like, cool, I'm done, I understand these, and you only do 30, that's fine. What will happen if you do not do your review homework? If you think you are the smarty pants, or have the smarty cap on and don't need it, then your grade will not suffer. I'm not entering these as homework grades, but they will be leading up to your final. So like if you don't do your homework, then you are going to be ill prepared for your final because you've taken 2 weeks off and have done nothing. I will also, at the beginning of each class, check to see what you've done. So I expect to see 30 problems done. If I do not see it, I will send a friendly email home to the parental units, okay? And they will receive an email saying, Mr. Let's pick a random student who's not here. Mr. Orozco has decided to not care about math today. Actually, I'll probably be more friendly than that. I'll be like, good morning. I am writing to inform you that insert student name here has decided to not do their math homework. This is review, it's very important. They're gonna fail the exam if they don't do it. And that's it, that's all I'm gonna do. You guys are in high school now. You can choose your life. Whatever your parents do, that's for them to parent, and that's not for me. I do this because I understand that some of you, math may be your very best subject, and you need to focus more of your time toward others. That's fine. But if you don't do the review, I'm telling you, you will suffer on the exam. It's been 2 weeks, you've done no math, you will suffer. But I'm not gonna enter them in as homework grades. So do your homework, but if you feel like you need to focus your attention elsewhere, talk that over with your parents, because your parents will receive that email, but say like, hey mom, I really need to study for cultural geography. I'm struggling in that class. I've got 100% in math. I'm not too worried. I did some of the practice problems. I understand it, so that they know when I send the email, like, oh, okay, they didn't do their math homework. But again, I would encourage you to do the problems, do all of them, make sure you can get them right. This is a great way for you to see, do you know these 20 topics on the list so that you can get 20 questions right on the test, okay? So, not a homework grade. Anything that was from this quarter, you should have already turned in. If you haven't, and you need to turn in stuff late, come see me and I'll let you know if I'm gonna accept it or not. But I should have grade reports for you tomorrow. Cool. So for 7 days, I'm gonna cover topics on here. On the 8th day, next Wednesday, I'm gonna open it up for you guys to ask questions. So if you're like really stuck on stuff and you didn't ask in student hours and we didn't have time to get to it in class, next Wednesday is gonna be the day for that. So like jot them down, send me an email and say, hey, I'm still stuck on substituting into variables, can you help? Okay, that is that. Are there any questions on what the next 2 weeks are gonna look like for this class? Yes?
When we do the problem, the worksheets, can we print out the worksheets?
Sure.
Alright.
Yeah. But I mean, it's due now, or like you're gonna work on it in class, so you probably wanna.
Well, if we're trying to pay attention to the review lessons.
I know, but I'm gonna teach and then you're gonna work on it in class, so
Alright.
you might as well. Just do it. Hashtag just do it. Okay, other questions? I went there.
I mean, you could print them out beforehand. No, we don't have to.
No, because I probably won't post it beforehand.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so summary. Do your homework. If you have a compelling reason not to, talk to your parents about it. Sound good? Cool. All right, so we have 3 topics to cover today. The first one is substitution into variables. This is Algebra 2, day 1. So how do we substitute into variables? These are these problems where they give you a function and they want you to plug in a number. Let's say x equals 3. How do you do that? You take the 3 and you plug it in for x. So wherever you saw x, you're going to erase the x. You're going to put in whatever number that is. 3 squared is,
9.
plus 1 is.
10.
Okay? So, again, we're plugging in this thing to that. Now, they could write it this way and ask what f of 3 is. That's the same problem. They're saying that x is now 3. The answer is still 10. Okay, so you're plugging in whatever's given into x. Okay, I think the last problem or two on your tests have been these, but they're with ugly numbers, right? Like a equals 1/3 and b equals -1/2, and you have
Yes.
a squared b minus ba cubed or something gross, right?
Yeah.
And you have to solve that. Same process, okay? So you are going to have, Mevo wants to be plugged in. One moment. Hi, Mevo. Mevo is not plugged in. Okay. So we're going to plug in a is 1/3. Always plug in parentheses. It will save your life one day. Or your math grade. Whatever is less important. Probably not your life. Unless they're like, do this math problem. No, I don't know. Okay, minus b is -1/2. A is 1/3. Then you're going to simplify. 1/3 squared is 1/9. It is not 1/6. It is 1/3 times 1/3, which is 1/9. Two minuses cancel out. Thank you. 1/3 cubed. It is not 1/9. It is 1/27th, because 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. Multiply these. So you get -1/18 plus 1/54. What's the least common denominator between 18 and 54? Ugh.
54. Yeah.
Oh, that's not bad. So you multiply this one by 3/3, and you get -2/54, which is -127.
Yes.
Okay. So the idea is you have to keep track of what you're plugging in. But I think most of the time you guys mess up on squaring and cubing when it's fractions and do weird things. That's what I've noticed in my professional opinion. Okay, so the next topic you have are those lovely consecutive integer problems. Yay. So it's like find 3 consecutive integers such that 2 times the sum of the first and third is 5 less than, sorry, trying to do this in my head, but I can't. 6 times the second. How do we do these problems? First step is to write out your integers. So if they're consecutive integers, that means you have n plus 1, and n plus 2. If they're consecutive even integers or consecutive odd integers, you have n plus 2, n plus 4. Okay, even and odd are the same. But if they're just consecutive, that means they're right next to each other. So for example, this could be 1, 2, and 3, or 5, 6, and 7. You just add 1 each time. Now, once you've written these out, you're going to write your equation using the keywords here. So 2 times means
Times
2 times something, right? Now, they say the sum. What does sum mean?
Or
Sum means add. And what two things are we summing? The first and the third. Your and sign tells you the two different things. The first number is n. The third number is n plus 2. It's the third one. That's why we wrote them out. When you don't write them out, you get them wrong. It just happens. Sorry. Is, what does is mean?
Equals.
Is means equals. 5 less than, how do I write that?
-5.
Minus 5 afterwards, that's right. So you're going to put minus 5 afterwards, then 6 times the second number. Well, the second number is n plus 1. 6 times that is 6n plus 1. These are complicated. You have to step through all of these keywords that you already know. If you don't know these keywords and how I translated that to this, you need to either A, ask a neighbor for that table we made where I was like, sum means this, and means this, is means this, times means this, or come to student hours and ask me for the table. From here, what do? Well, we solve. How do we solve every single equation with one variable? You move all the variables to one side, all the numbers to the other side. So if I distribute this, I get 2n plus 2n plus 4 equals 6n plus 6 minus 5. All the numbers will go to the right side, all the letters go to the left side. So I will subtract 4 from both sides, and I will add or subtract 6. Whoa, no. Subtract 6n, because I want all my n's on the left, I want all my numbers on the right. What does that leave me with? 2 plus 2 minus 6 is minus 2. 6 minus 5 is 1, minus 4 is?
-3.
2 times the sum of the first and third. Oh. Yeah, well, I messed that up. Okay, cool. N equals
3/2.
1.5. 2.5 and 3.5. Okay, usually you should get a number. Obviously, I messed up. But that's fine. 2 times 4 is definitely 8, not 6. So, if you get decimals, you did it wrong. If you get numbers, you did it right. Remember, if they ask for 3 numbers, then you should get 3 numbers as your answer. So if you answered with 1.5, that would be incorrect because I asked for 3 numbers. Okay, please excuse my poor example making. So that's that. You will have a bunch of problems on that. I think there's a whole worksheet on that in your Google Classroom. The last thing is the distance between 2 points. How do you find the distance between 2 points? You use the formula. That's right. What is the distance between 2 points? I know that the break has, like, all formulas have departed from your mind. But if you have a point x1, y1, and a point x2, y2, then your distance formula is as follows. If you don't have it memorized, write it down. In fact, oh, I didn't print these for you. Usually I print these for the students, and then they can just write on these, and I didn't print them for you this year. So if you're one of those and you want to print it out, like, of the 3 things we've done here, this one has some, like, important things, right? The n plus 1, n plus 2, or n plus 2, n plus 4. And then this one has a formula. So you might want to even, like, print this and then write your formulas here, or have, like, 1 page of, like, really important things for you to study that has a list of those, so that as you reflect upon your final exam experience, and you start freaking out, like next Wednesday at like 8 p.m., and I'm not answering emails, believe me. After 5 o'clock, no way. So, like, you're freaking out, nobody's willing to help you. You go back to your little note sheet, or you go back to this that you printed out, and you're like, oh, the distance between points formula is right there. And then your life is like better. Okay? Write down the formulas. Take good notes. I'm spoon feeding you like, not answers, but at least what the problems are going to look like. So, you know, like, take interest. That's all I have to say. Okay. Distance between 2 points is x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Do you have to graph the 2 points?
You could.
No, you're making more work for yourself. Can you? Sure. You're going to graph the 2 points. You're going to make a triangle, a right triangle, and you're going to use this formula to find the distance between the 2 points. So instead of graphing it and going through all of that work, memorize the formula and you're done. So how would I use this formula to find the distance between 2 points? And you do have these questions on the worksheet. Well, let's say I have a point 0, 1 and a point -2, 3. I'm going to plug in x1 as 0, x2 as -2. y2 is 3, y1 is 1. I think I was lazy on the answers and left this unsimplified, so that's also the square root of 8. That's wrong. 2 square root 2. So on the test, I want it simplified, but on the answers, I was lazy. I left it the square root of 8. So know that formula. It will get you points on the exam. Even if you just write that, that's probably like 3 out of 5 points on a question.
We have to do the 2 square root 2.
Yeah, you have to simplify it.
Oh, man.
Wahahaha. Okay, so from here on out, you have the rest of the period, which is a good amount of time, if I may say so myself, like 20 minutes, to finish your worksheets. So go ahead and work on those. Again, put the time in. That way you will not have much time outside of class to do them.